For most of the internet's history, software waited for humans to click. Person searched. Person subscribed. Person entered a card number. Person approved the bill. But AI is beginning to change the shape of that relationship. The first wave of generative AI answered questions. The next wave is learning to take actions. Call an API, open a browser, search a database, write a file, request access, complete a workflow. And this is where the story gets strange. If software can act in the digital world, eventually it runs into something very human: cost. First, AI felt like a conversation. You typed a question into a box, and the model replied with words. It could summarize an article, draft an email, explain a spreadsheet, or turn a rough idea into polished text. That was powerful, but it was still mostly passive. The AI could describe a task, could plan a task, could tell you how to do a task, but it could not reliably step into the systems where work actually happens. It was like a brilliant employee locked outside the office, speaking through the door. The important shift was not that AI became louder or more theatrical. It became connected. A chatbot talks. An agent acts. Modern AI systems can be connected to tools. Developers can define functions, APIs, files, search tools, browser actions, code environments, and business workflows. The model can decide that a tool is needed, return a structured request, and wait for the surrounding application to execute it. This distinction matters. The model is not magically controlling the world. It is operating inside a system built by humans, with tools humans chose, permissions humans granted, and logs humans can inspect. But even inside those boundaries, the change is enormous. An AI assistant can move from writing a travel plan to checking availability, from explaining a spreadsheet to updating a record, from drafting code to opening a pull request, from answering a customer question to triggering the next step in a support workflow. This sounds futuristic until you notice the pieces already exist. The breakthrough is not only intelligence. It is access. Once an agent can act, it starts to depend on outside resources. A search query may call a paid API. A research task may need a premium database. A coding task may use cloud compute. A business workflow may touch a CRM, a billing platform, a document system, or a data marketplace. Every one of those systems has rules. Many of them have prices. That is why payment enters the story. Not because AI is walking into stores with a wallet. Not because software suddenly became a legal person. But because useful digital work often consumes paid digital inputs. A human employee has a login, a manager, and a company card. A software agent needs digital versions of all three. It needs identity so a system knows who it represents. It needs permission so it can only do approved work. And it needs controlled access to paid services so it can complete tasks without turning every small step into a human checkout screen. But that is where the problem begins. Payment is not just the movement of money. A payment system answers a chain of questions. Who is paying? Who authorized it? What is being purchased? Is the amount allowed? Is the merchant trusted? Is the transaction suspicious? Who keeps the receipt? Who is responsible if something goes wrong? For humans, these questions are handled by a stack of familiar systems. Cards, banks, wallets, fraud controls, passwords, expense policies, compliance teams, and customer support. For agents, the same questions become harder. An AI system may be acting for a person, a team, or a company. It may be operating inside a workflow that changes minute by minute. It may need to buy one API call, one dataset, or 1 minute of compute. The question is not whether AI can pay. It is who gave it permission. Without limits, payment becomes dangerous. With too much friction, the agent becomes useless. The missing layer is not just money. It is governed money. This is why stablecoins keep appearing in discussions about AI agents. Stablecoins are digital currencies designed to hold a stable value, usually by being linked to a reserve asset like the US dollar. Payment companies describe them as programmable, always-on, and useful for fast digital settlement. For software-native commerce, that is attractive. A card payment was built around human checkout. A bank transfer was built around institutions and settlement windows. But an API call may happen instantly, globally, and for a tiny amount of money. Stablecoins suggest one possible rail for that kind of transaction. Coinbase X402, for example, revives the old HTTP 402 payment-required idea and applies it to paid APIs and digital services. A client requests a resource. If payment is required, the server returns payment instructions. The client sends a payment payload. If it verifies, access is granted. But stablecoins are not magic money for AI. They bring regulatory questions, custody questions, fraud questions, privacy questions, and trust questions. They are one possible rail, not a guaranteed destination. The first AI customer will not look like a robot. It may look like a server requesting data. Imagine a research agent that needs one premium financial dataset, a coding agent that needs to run a cloud test, a sales agent that needs to enrich a record, a support agent that needs to unlock one document, one API response, or one specialized tool. In each case, the agent does not need to own money. It needs permissioned access to spend within a narrow rule set. $5 per day. Only approved vendors. Only data APIs. Only after human approval above a threshold. Every action logged. Every payment reversible or auditable where the rail allows it. That is the realistic version. Not fully autonomous software roaming the economy, but controlled agents buying digital inputs to complete assigned work. The first AI customer may not walk into a store. It may call an API. If this becomes common, it changes how we think about the internet. Today, most digital commerce is designed around humans and organizations. Websites sell to people. SaaS companies sell seats to companies. APIs sell subscriptions to developers. But agentic systems point toward a more granular economy. Software may buy one action, one result, one file, one inference, one verification, one dataset, or one workflow step at a time. That could reshape SaaS, cloud computing, data markets, cybersecurity, identity systems, and financial infrastructure. The next important customer on the internet may not be a person. It may be software acting on behalf of a person. And that phrase, on behalf of, is doing almost all the work. Because the economy does not only need faster transactions. It needs responsibility. AI agents are not replacing the economy overnight. They are not secretly shopping across the internet. They are not independent citizens with bank accounts and unlimited authority. But they are forcing an old system to confront a new participant. Software that can request. Software that can decide within limits. Software that can call tools, consume services, and one day pay for digital resources inside controlled environments. The strange part is not that AI might spend money. The strange part is that payment reveals what an agent really is. Is it a tool? A worker? A customer? A piece of infrastructure? Or simply a new kind of interface between human intent and the digital economy? When AI can act like a worker and pay like a customer, who is really participating in the economy? The human, the company, or the software?